Weber Go Anywhere barbecue is a very popular portable barbecue. This is a charcoal one. I'm going to share with you what I found when I used the thermometer and briquettes for control, and I just did some temperature adjustments based on the amount of charcoal inside just to see what it took to get good cooking temperatures. This is the Weber Go Anywhere barbecue. It collapses up like a little fishing tackle box. It's a handy size. It's very well engineered and it's very well constructed. It should last a lifetime. That handle on the top gets very hot when you're cooking with it, so beware of that. Lift it with gloves or something else. Other than that, it's a very portable thing. Inside it's big enough to put all your tools and maybe even a little charcoal. Most chimney starters for charcoal are a little big for a portable barbecue. I've made my own here out of an IKEA utensil holder and some carriage bolts. I use paraffin wax and cardboard starters to avoid any hydrocarbon odor in the charcoal, and it works out quite well. This smaller 18 coal chimney starter also fits inside the barbecue when it collapses for carrying around. The fire starters are burned down, the charcoal is lit, you can see it smoking. It'll take about 20 minutes. My chimney charcoal starter has produced about 20 coals that are hot, and you can see from this 10 by 16 inch barbecue that it looks a little meager. So what I do is I top it up and I give myself 30 coals to cook on in this Go Anywhere charcoal barbecue. The thing that I like about portable barbecues that are charcoal and not gas is if it's windy or cold or rainy or whatever, you can just add more charcoal to get the right temperature. I use the top vents for controlling the burn on the charcoal. I leave the bottom vents wide open. They're not that big already. The upper ones here, you can direct the heat from the side to side, or you can open them both up and get it quite hot. And when you're starting up the charcoal, just leave the lid right off and it burns real well. I have my digital thermometer inside on the rack, and yet underneath I can put my hand, even though it's 333 degrees Fahrenheit inside, I can put my hand right underneath the barbecue, and it's just warm. It's not hot or searing hot. What it means is this Go Anywhere barbecue will sit on a wooden picnic table, and with 30 coals in it, it will not set fire to anything. It will not scorch the paint. That's a good thing. The new charcoal design is a little bit of a hot button with me. Instead of being a pillow shape, it's got a very high convoluted surface area. All the charcoal you buy now does. The weight of the charcoal now varies from 1 ounce to less than an ounce in size. They all have this high surface area. What that means is they burn faster and hotter, but not for very long. That means is they can sell you more charcoal. Just a little bit of an issue with me. I prefer the old stuff. Since you are cooking with charcoal, you should know a little bit about it. How much charcoal are you burning? You buy the stuff by the weight. This is showing 290 grams for 10 coals, which is 280 grams would be exactly 1 ounce per coal. And that's a good thing to know because each coal at 1 ounce was designed in briquettes to give you 25 degrees Fahrenheit. Weber recommends for indirect heating on this Go Anywhere barbecue 8 briquettes per side. 8 briquettes per side is 16 total. I'm going to say right now I use 30. That's just me. There's heat loss here and there, and I think it just is better for cooking. Following along, the same 16 coals is recommended for direct heat. If you put it underneath there, that's going to give you 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Usually when I'm searing things and burning things, I want a hotter fire than that. So again, I'm going to bump that up to 30 coals for direct heat. So I use 30 coals. Here's a classic indirect heat setup. I've got all 30 coals off on the right hand side, and you can see that I'm getting about 275 F over there on the uncoal side, and I also have the probe at the bottom there for a digital thermometer. We're going to compare those two. I read an account of a person who was advocating digital readouts for thermometers on charcoal or gas barbecues because they're vastly more accurate than the old hockey puck bimetal thermometers, which are cheaper. The bimetal thermometers, those round ones, are the ones that Weber currently uses in just about all of its barbecues. So I put the two of them side by side here just to see what we could get. Well, this is hardly good science, but all I can say is with the two probes side by side, I both register 315 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a sample of one with one instrument, so it's not exactly science. Nevertheless, I like the bimetal gauges. They're portable, they're small, there's fewer moving parts, and it seems to me that they're accurate enough. If you just count off your charcoals and space it out correctly, you don't need to worry about it. This is my preferred setup for indirect heating on the Weber Go Anywhere charcoal barbecue. It's got 15 coals per side, and I cook in the middle. It gives you a nice even heat. You can see that I've got the top vents open on both sides. The fire is nice and consistent, but how hot is it? Let's find out. For comparison's sake here's all 30 coals on the side, and I'm getting a nice 290 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a nice indirect cooking temperature. What about if we just go into the middle and we try to cook something reasonably quick? We are, after all, portable barbecuing. What do we get there? Okay, now we're done calibrating. We're actually cooking food now because we've got the barbecue set up the way I like it. And you can see that we're registering 375, 390 right now on the bimetal gauge. And I'm baking potatoes with onions in the middle, double tin foiled, and it's going to work out just fine. That's a good cooking temperature. It's not going to burn, but it is going to cook in a reasonable length of time, like 30 minutes. So I like this. Well, enough of measuring all the temperatures with direct and indirect heat over the barbecue. This is a searing flame. I put all 30 coals in a pile. When they touch each other, they burn very fast and they burn very hot. This is probably 600 or 700 degrees Fahrenheit, and if you're putting a sear on a steak, this is the way you do it. Again, that's 30 coals in a pile. In conclusion, I'd like to say that 30 coals on a Weber Go Anywhere barbecue is my standard. If it's colder out or windier out, you can go to 40 coals. The barbecue performs very well with this. I don't know about using 16 coals on this barbecue. It seems to me a little meager. You can try it. I'm not going to. Lump charcoal, you're on your own. I don't use it because I just can't get the temperatures that I want. Here's a hot meal cooked on this barbecue. You can see I've gone with the cast iron Cray Court replacement grates. I like the little sear marks. Some don't. But all I can say is it makes a beautiful barbecue and a beautiful meal for two people. Hope you got something out of this. Thanks for watching.